Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another stream, and yeah, I know it's a little difficult for me to get to stream because I haven't streamed for some time. Last time was like on the end of April, so yeah, we're gonna do another stream, and this time, and I know, yeah, it is Father's Day today, and it's been pretty rough for me because my father's been getting pancreatic cancer. He's been sick with pancreatic cancer since like the first half of 2025, spring 2025. No wonder why 2025 was shit. And 2026 is also cursed as hell. And I know it's also gonna be 4th of July 2 weeks from now. No, I'm not gonna celebrate because the US is full of corruption, scandal, Epstein files, corporate greed, more division, etc. Political division, etc. So yeah. Anyway, let's get this shit started. Should we? Alright. So yeah, I also thought of doing reasons why I don't support the LGBT. No, I don't support the LGBT. I don't hate them either. I'd rather digress from it. And yeah, my filmter also advised me not to because, yeah, I know, I guess people might be a little offended. He doesn't support the LGBT himself due to his religion. He's a Christian, a big conservative, so yeah. Alright, but there are reasons why people may not, why some people may not support the LGBT. So let me share this. Alright, Pride Month is why Pride Month is controversial. Alright, so Pride Month is controversial primarily because it intersects deeply with debates over traditional morality, political ideology, and the visibility of marginalized identities. For supporters, it is a vital movement for civil rights, visibility for safety. For detractors, it often represents a clash with religious or cultural values, particularly regarding public displays of identity and family structures. Several factors contribute to this ongoing divide. Traditional values versus identity. Many conservative and religious groups object to the public celebration of LGBTQ+ identities, arguing that these observances conflict with traditional concepts of morality and the nuclear family. Public expression. Criticisms frequently center on the perceived overt sexuality of some pride parades. Opponents argue that public events sometimes cross the line into behavior not suitable for all ages, while supporters maintain these events are about joyful self-expression and community. Political polarization. In recent years, Pride Month has become a flashpoint in culture wars. This includes debates over legislation targeting transsexual rights, gender-affirming care, and LGBTQ+ topics in school curricula. Corporate participation. Rainbow capitalism draws criticism from both sides of the spectrum. Some conservative object to corporations actively promoting LGBTQ+, corporate support as superficial marketing rather than genuine sustained allyship. Visibility and historical context. Many LGBTQ+ advocates argue that Pride is often misunderstood because its history is rooted in resisting systemic discrimination and police brutality. They emphasize that visibility remains a matter of personal safety and civil rights, as queer individuals still face targeted violence and legislative challenges. So yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, there are some reasons why some people may not support the LGBTQ+, because some people because of how they're raised, they grew up in straight families or in straight neighborhoods, or maybe because their religion, some religions like Islam or Orthodox view LGBT as a sin, as being gay is against God. Let's see. So why? And so there are some US states that also call Pride Month, usually the conservative states. So let me show this screen. Alright. So state level cutbacks on Pride Month are driven by conservative political campaigns, the dismantling of diversity, equity, and inclusion DI programs, and broader legislative efforts to roll back LGBTQ plus rights. Actions across the US include official rebranding. Several Republican-led states have issued proclamations replacing Pride Month with conservative alternatives like Nuclear Family Month, Indiana and Tennessee, Strong Families Month, Alabama, or Fidelity Month, Utah, Arkansas. State agency restrictions. Lawmakers in various states have advanced legislation to restrict state agencies and public universities from endorsing Pride, flying the rainbow flag on public property, or participating in LGBTQ plus outreach. Corporate pullbacks. Major U.S. corporations and federal contractors have scaled back on their public Pride Month campaigns and sponsorship funding, frequently citing a fear of federal scrutiny and government pressure regarding DEI initiatives. Safety and financial concerns. Local organizers in some states have canceled or downsized Pride events, explicitly citing an escalating hostile political environment, decreased corporate sponsorships, and threats of violence. You see why I don't support the LGBT? Alright, so let me show and not everyone should be obligated to support the LGBT. Some countries don't, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Iran, Iraq, Brunei, Indonesia, etc. So yeah. So let's look up a world map where LGBT is illegal. Alright, so let me look at the map. So anything that's orange is LGBT is illegal. So yeah, criminalized. So yeah, and I know Jamaica's the only country in North America to criminalize LGBT, and Benin's also only in South America too. So, and Europe, well, yeah, none of Europe criminalizes it. But I know it is taboo in Russia and Belarus. I know they don't support the LGBT though. But there are some countries where it's criminalized. Oh shit, that's a 2019 map. Hold on. We want a 2026 map. Now, oh there you go. Alright, let me look at this map. So yeah, 66 countries where same sex is illegal. So yeah, I already explained to you those 3 continents. Let's take a look. So let's take a look at Asia. So yeah, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia. What else? And oh yeah, in Africa, Chad, Nigeria, Mali, Niger, Ghana. What else? I think Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Ethiopia, Somalia, Iran, and oh yeah, I know the Middle East. Saudi Arabia imposes death penalties, so does Iran. Yemen, Afghanistan, UAE, Qatar, Iraq, Palestine, Syria, Afghanistan, Pakistan, I think it's Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. And I know, like, in Oceania, like Papua New Guinea, and I believe Solomon Islands also criminalizes LGBT. What's the other map that could look? I know it's like a risk map as well. So yeah, there are some countries where LGBT is risky. Talked about the Middle East. Oh yeah, Russia for sure. It's very taboo to be gay in Russia, even though it's not illegal. It's technically legal. So yeah. So yeah, I've explained to you all the countries that support. Oh yeah, I want to like explain like companies that have gone woke. So yeah. So yeah, I know Target. I mentioned about Target before. Companies that faced backlash for going woke. All right. So yeah, let me show you. So this is something I found on Google. So I know like Target has been very controversial for giving like pride-related clothes. Fall after Pride Month backlash. So let me get to the part where see the Pride controversy. Conservative organizations are not pulling back. A legal group led by Stephen Miller, former Vice President Donald Trump, is soon targeted over shareholder losses in the wake of boycotts. The group America First Legal alleged the target mislead investors when it said it was monitoring risks related to its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Since May, Target's stock price has fallen almost 20%. See? Let me give you a real good article about where they face the backlash. Alright, I got it. So companies that face backlash for being woke. Alright, key company for, let's see, Pride relate. So yeah, face backlash for becoming woke. So Bud Light suffered a massive sustained boycott in 2023 after partnering with transsexual influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah, I'd rather use transsexual and transgender because transgender is not gender. There's only two genders. There's only male and female. Look between your legs and you'll see your actual gender. Your biological gender. Target faced intense backlash in 2023 for its private collection I already talked about, including tuck-friendly swimsuits, resulting in a significant drop in market value. See? Disney experienced criticism and legal battles with the state of Florida over its opposition to the Don't Say Gay bill, with critics accusing it of pushing an agenda in children's media. See, this is why children shouldn't be learning about the LGBT, because it could sexualize them, and also it's a more complex topic. And kids media should not feature LGBT as well. Harley Davidson, heard of them, targets DI policies leading to a 2024 pledge to seize DI, retire HR, cease scoring, and audit employee training. Nike faced backlash for featuring Colin Kaepernick in its advertisements. I don't know what that is. So yeah, Meta eliminated several DI related activities. McDonald's announced it would retire specific diversity goals and end its mutual commitment to diversity initiatives. Google, Amazon, Microsoft report to be trimming or restructuring DEI initiatives. So I'm going to show you another why net-based backlash. So yeah. Oh, I know another good example. Netflix for sure. So yeah. Backlash from the LG. Alright, So yeah, backlash from conservative and political groups. See, children's content. Conservative figures and activists have frequently targeted at Netflix. They've organized cancel Netflix campaigns. This erupted over children's and family shows like Dead End Paranormal Park, which features a transsexual protagonist, and Cocomelon Lane, which features a same-sex couple. Political scrutiny. Prominent politicians and right-wing commentators have accused Netflix of pushing a radical agenda onto young viewers, with some pushing executives to testify in Congress for regarding its kids' programming. Now, I know another one. Dead End. Alright. So yeah, I got it. Let me show you another reason. So Netflix faces backlash for Dead End Paranormal Park and Strawberry Shortcake. They're being pursued due to conservative outrage over LGBT representation in children's programming. The controversy was amplified when high-profile figures, including Elon Musk, urged users to cancel their subscriptions, sparking a widespread internet boycott. Dead End Paranormal Park. The animated series drew intense fire after right-wing social media accounts resurfaced and shared clips of the protagonist explicitly coming out as a transsexual, despite the show already concluding and being cancelled by Netflix. Career controversy. The backlash was heavily compounded by older, resurfaced political comments made by the show's creator, Hamish Steele, which right-wing commentators characterized as mocking or celebrating the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The boycott, amplified by accounts like Libs of TikTok, the controversy gained massive traction. Elon Musk shared these clips and comments to his millions of followers, condemning the show as pushing pro-transsexual messaging on children and urging the public to cancel Netflix for the health of your kids. Now, Strawberry Shortcake faced similar scrutiny when critics and conservative advocacy groups flagged the children's series for featuring non-binary and transsexual characters. No, I do not believe in non-binary either. LGBTQ plus themes. In the reboot, characters like Blind Chiffin are depicted with two fathers, one of whom identifies as transsexual and another as non-binary. Criticism. Critics, including Musk, targeted this content inappropriate for young viewers, which is, actually, accusing the platform of pushing an aggressive woke agenda and sexualizing children's media. You see why woke culture gets criticized? So yeah, why Netflix face? You see? This is why I'm not a Democrat, because they're woke as fuck. I hope the next US president wouldn't be Democrat. I hope it's an independent president, or if not, at least a Republican. Even though I'm neither Democrat nor Republican, because both parties are idiots. I want to look more into the Target Pride controversy. So yeah. Let me show another thing. So yeah, Target's surrender, which came after concerted attacks from MAGA media personalities, points to a bigger story. The anti-woke right is increasingly wielding heavy-handed tactics, including state power and violent threats, to block corporations from making their own decisions about how to adapt to social change. Though the right is losing this battle at large, it is innovating and have some success. It's unclear which items Target will pull, but right-wing figures had claimed Target was selling tuck-friendly swimwear as part of its Pride Month collection to kids. As the Daily Beast reports, those figures labeled Target CEO Brian Cornell a pervert groomer and even called for Republican attorneys general to investigate him. One Arizona man threatened disruptions at Target stores, warning that LGBTQ people are not safe. The right's claim appears to be false. As the Associated reports, Target sold the swimwear, allowing trans women without gender-affirming operations to conceal genitalia, only to adults, but Target backed down, admitting that the threats were in response to the Pride collection and explicitly promising to remove items that triggered confrontational behavior. This is part of a trend. Right-wing activists and Republican politicians have repeatedly sought to make it hard for corporations to embrace liberal social change. Recently, for instance, the right opened fire on Bud Light, prominently sending a personalized beer can to transsexual influencer. The company put the executives behind the move on leave. On another front, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis openly used government power to retaliate against Disney's opposition to DeSantis' Don't Say Gay law restricting classroom discussion of sex and gender. The other Republicans across the country are trying to use government power to limit investors from adopting social considerations in their investment decisions. It would be overly simplistic to say that in these cases, corporations, executives, and investors are simply administering to majority opinion on that the right represents an angry minority. In the case of Bud Light, the resulting backlash reportedly cut into sales, meaning that until members of customers were unhappy with the decision, DeSantis was also reelected by a large majority of Floridians as well as after his war on Disney began. Nevertheless, the right's telling of the story is all wrong. In this ring world, corporate elites are scheming in boardrooms to push the culture in a more progressive direction against the wishes of disempowered, silent culture conservative majorities. That's why right-wing figures have trained their fire on woke corporations, often insisting it justifies use of state power. The Bud Light gesture towards trans people were deliberately conceived as an effort to reach new customer constituencies. Disney's opposition Don't Say Gay was driven in part. I'm streaming. Was driven in part of discernible movements and public sentiment on LGBTQ plus issues, as well as opinion among rank and file employees. See what I meant? So yeah. Well, that's all. That's all I want to explain about the LGBT. Yes, I do think they're controversial. You see why I don't celebrate Pride Month. So, in general, is celebrating Pride Month truly worth it? I don't think so, to be honest. Alright, so yeah, I had enough. So yeah, you know what? Before I leave, I might spend the last few minutes showing some of my arts to y'all, because why not? Alright. And yes, I made my goal this June. 50 watchers. I have 55 fucking watchers now. I hope I reach 100 watchers by the end of this year. Bremen saw. Alright, so yeah. I just want to show you the last few pages, the 6th issue of the Arc 2 of my Bremen Saga. So yeah, issue 6. So here's the rain in the forest after the battle from the factory causing explode. After the battle against Vladimir Garjal, the colossal warlord, the main villain of the arc. And there it is. See, the villagers are taking care of the animals as they're safe from them. The bandages, see, those great things are the bandages. See, don't lose them all. Oh, not this time, see. Even Merc and Barbers are small. And there's the troubadour. It's finally over. Storms always end with silence until someone dares to sing again. Sing in the rain. See, peaceful forest. And it's about to. See, here's Lisa Badass the fox playing her flute. May every fallen up rise again. And here's a bit of a sneak peek of the city surrounded by dark, metallic city surrounded by dark fog, dark clouds, pollution behind the trees after Fox plays the flute. And there's Lisa Beth finds a radio station. And the forest healed, but something far colder is away. So yeah, the forest is in peace. The forest is in peace, but a bigger threat is about to come. So yeah. I also have one more thing to show about. I kind of want to show a bit of my Babar story too. So yep, in book 2, Babar rises in the end again. I also haven't uploaded the last 10 pages, but I will do that eventually by sometime this week. So there's Babar standing in the ash, looking at the fog city. And now until around the and stretch will find you long. I'll rebuild differently. See, vows to rebuild it. Rebuild Celestial again. Once the fog is over. Not all vows are spoken. The bar never gives up. He vows to vengeance. Alright. Oh yeah, and this I also want to show you my my little bear pick that I done, the father and son one. You know, the one I did, and I did my best I could match myself. Even someone in the comments said that I captured the style pretty good, and yeah, I told him that I did the best I could. You know, my reply comment to match the original show. And like I said, it's difficult for me to celebrate Father's Day all because of my dad getting sick with pancreatic cancer, like I mentioned much earlier in the stream. But this time it's with Lil Bill and not Lil Bill, Lil Bear and Father Bear. Father and son, see? You see what I meant? And once again, I gotta give a link to my fucking DeviantArt. So yeah. That was a pretty damn good pick. Oh, yeah, and the stream's like way over 30 minutes. Alright, well, doesn't matter to me anyway because I do try to keep my streams a little short now. So yeah, otherwise, I'm about to leave right now. I'm gonna leave right now. Otherwise, this is me, Victor, from Reaper Madness signing off. And yeah, I think that... And yeah, the real reason why LGBT gets backlash is because they're controversial, after all, overall. So yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next stream. Otherwise, this is me, Victor, from me, whenever I can. Otherwise, this is me, Victor, from Reaper Madness, signing off, and I'll see you whenever the hell I can. Otherwise, see you in the next stream. And peace out, comrades. Bye-bye for now.